let's do this and this. So like super short, like 15, 20 minutes.
Sounds good.
I'm here with my friend and client, Dani. Dani is a maritimer just like me. So we like connect on all of that East Coast goodness. Dani, tell everyone all about you.
Oh gosh, do we have time for
We do.
that?
We're gonna make time.
Well, I live in Newfoundland. I just moved back last year, which is super exciting. I'm a virtual assistant, so I work online and virtual, of course. That allows me to go wherever, and I'm back. It's great to be back. And I've been, I don't know, I guess following along with everything you've been doing for, I feel like more than a year.
Oh,
And so now I'm part of your community, and it's been great.
yay. Tell us, you're a VA.
Mhm.
What got you into VA work?
When I was younger, people used to pay me to do their homework. That was how it started.
It.
I just became the person that people paid to build their websites because I was making websites back in high school before anyone knew how to do any of that really that were in my circle. So I started building websites and I started getting all geeky and getting into apps. I was a internet tech for a while, so then people would call upon me to fix their internet and it just I don't know. I just became the person that in all the circles that I created over time, people were like, Dani, you know how to do this, or do you know how to do this? I feel like you know how to do this. And then along the way, people started offering to pay me to do things. And I thought, gosh, like there's a lot of people who don't know how to do things or don't have the time to do them. And maybe that's where I come in. So
Ah, I
good at
love
it.
it. I think that's so funny that you were like, yes, okay. Can you tell me later? Okay. Sorry, my sons just got home from school, so they're like, they want to tell me things, and I'm like, oh, you can't tell me right
Exciting news.
now. He had a big story. He's gonna have to stand there for a long time. You can go play for a while. He can tell me later. I think it's so funny that you were the person that people just like paid to do their homework, and now you're just like, hey, tasks you don't want to do, send them over here.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and it's great because my clients will usually come to me for one specific thing. And after we have a call or after we've worked together for a little bit, then they slowly learn that there's like a wide range of things that I quite enjoy and I'm really nerdy about. And so
Yes.
they end up getting me to do a long list of things, which has been really great. So I've had
I
a bunch of clients that have been going on for years. So it's really good.
That's amazing. I love that so much. Would you say that this is like the work that you're passionate about?
I do like to help people. I've always been someone who likes to kind of sacrifice what I'm focused on and help someone out with whatever they're working on that isn't working. Um, I don't know. I like to see someone super relieved of something that seems so daunting because we all have things that are daunting for us.
Hmm.
So to really take that stress away from another person over something that for me is easy and simple is a really good feeling. And it's really nice. I'm a creative person, so I do a lot of social media work and build websites and stuff. And that usually leads me to get to do the things that I would honestly be doing in my spare time just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And so now I get to get paid to do it. I mean, it works out really well.
I love that you're saying this because, like, right before Danny and I hopped on this, we were in the DMs and she's developing a new course to help people become VAs. So as you're saying, like the overwhelm and all of this stuff, like these people, like everyday people start businesses, but every day there are people who are unsure of what the first step is to getting a business out of their brain and into their reality. Like for me personally, like I was a stockbroker for 7 years. I felt like I wanted to get into the coaching and consulting space for a year before I actually like started to pull the trigger. And even then it was like a slow pull. Like I was not firing shots all over the place. It was really slow going. So like we were talking about her new program which is coming out and it is to help you yeah, kind of get in out of your head and into your shoes essentially and start taking those first steps to creating your own VA business, which is empowering because most VAs are moms. They want to be home
Mhm.
with their kids more. They want to be able to say yes to their kids more. They want to be able to take care of them when they're sick and things like that. And like that's your story, that's my story.
Yeah, totally. And we've seen such a big shift since the pandemic.
Mhm.
Everyone that even, had the regular 9 to 5 were working from home and that sort of thing. And we've seen so many people that, we all know the story that we've heard of people that they've been on maternity leave, gone back to work, but because they knew they had to,
Mhm.
they just accepted it. But with the pandemic, it became obviously a longer period of time that people were having to figure things out and make things work at home. We've seen so many people want to maintain that
Mhm.
because they were able to be so much more flexible with life and with their children.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've had so many people show up in my DMs, or I've seen posts that there are moms or just people who want something else and they want to feel like they've produced their own business and that they're more self-sustainable, right?
Huh.
And they're just desperate for something. And there's a lot of stuff out there that you can learn, but the problem with the internet is there's so much. It's
There's
almost
so much.
overwhelmingly so much content. And I mean, you can go online and you can learn anything.
Mhm.
You can learn how to play piano without even having a piano just by having the internet. There's so much stuff, right? But it's finding it and knowing what resources to really trust and it's a lot. So I think having a solid place that people can kind of check out and follow along and learn from, the very beginning, behind the scenes, right through and have that support would be fantastic.
I love that. I don't Let's not say doesn't exist, but I don't know anyone that's like a business coach for VAs that like helps them get off the ground and into like a place that they have paying clients and like the business is not just like running, but it's thriving, it's sustainable, and it's creating the lifestyles that they want.
I've definitely seen some online. There are a bunch of VA coaches out there. But one thing that I haven't seen myself is a course that does walk you through it, has the community, has the support, and has the background that I have because a lot
Hmm.
of people are very niche down and I'm a geek and a nerd, so I like so many different things. I build websites and I create graphics, but I also, create content for people and I
Mhm.
will go in and do a lot of training for like different apps. Like I love software, so I
Yeah.
mean, I kind of touch on a lot of things that I find most people will pick one. And so for me, I find it's the more people that are like me, the more that there are businesses out there that they can have an assistant and they have just the one assistant. That's basically a part of their team because that's how I feel with my clients.
Yeah.
Instead of having, you have to have your e-commerce expert, you have to have, for the minor things that a lot of my clients are doing, they don't need to be paying for an expert to come in to do something for a half an hour on one
Yeah.
thing. So it's great to have someone who's just really invested in your business
Hmm.
and willing to learn, of course.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just want to do all the things, right? That's
We're
kind of
also
what I.
seeing, like, from my perspective, what I'm seeing in the industry is a lot of people are deciding to like call their teams down and just be like, I just want a couple of core people that is just like me and them and like we're doing the work. I don't want a bunch of contractors. I want a couple of really great people that are in this, like in it to win it with me. And like that's how you're setting these people up, your clients up that do these programs with you to be that like go-to ride or die person that people are building legacies with. I think that's amazing. There needs to be more of that, I think.
And I mean, it took me a while to realize that that was really what I was looking for because
Mhm.
I've had a client who, they had ups and downs. They were a startup company. So it's been a thrill over the last 2 years to 2.5 years almost that I've been with them to watch them grow and
Yeah.
go through funding and just so many different things. And at one point I sent them a congratulations for a huge achievement. And I'm like, it's so cool to see you guys thrive and everything. And he was, I mentioned something like, I'm watching from the sidelines, right? Because I'm their administrator. I do payments and HR and onboarding contracts, all that sort of thing. But, the message back that I got was, you're not on the sidelines, you're down in the trenches with us.
Oh.
And essentially for me, that was the line that just explained it all. That's how I feel about my clients.
Mhm.
That's what I want to be doing is I want to be a part of their team and I want it to feel like my success just as much as theirs, right? So
Yeah.
that's ultimately why it's fun, I think.
That's really important too, because I've had a VA and like now I have an agency. When I made that shift, I could tell that my VA didn't care about me.
Right.
Like my business, my success, my life, she was just doing a job, which is fine, but like there comes a point where you don't want someone that's just doing a job. You want someone that cares about you too. And I think that's what sets you apart so much like in the industry that like you care so much about your clients and like they're important to you. You even when you're not on a call with them or answering them directly, you're still thinking about them and what they're working on and what they're doing. And
Right.
that's hard to find. I wish it wasn't so hard to find, but like people like you, it's hard to find people that really care about their clients.
And I feel like, unfortunately, it is a very easy business to start. I mean, contracted. You don't actually have to have an established business registered. You don't have to have a lot of things in place like you do for a lot of other businesses.
Yeah.
So anyone could turn around and go tomorrow, hey, I'm a virtual assistant, work with someone for a week, and then ghost them. Like I've heard the horror stories, and
Yeah.
they're horrifying to me too, because it's hard to get in the door and have a solid conversation with someone when they've had that treatment for them and their business before by a virtual assistant.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I think these days are a bit daunting because there have been people who, for whatever reasons, they've had to back away from their business and they weren't transparent about it. But I mean, I feel like that's probably in every industry too.
Sure.
But hopefully, the amount that happens is decreasing.
I hope so too. So Danny and I work together. Danny is one of my clients. Danny, what made you like want to work with me? What made me stand out from others that are out there doing what I do?
Well, I follow a lot of people on Facebook specifically who claim to be doing what you're doing. But the one thing that really stood out for your content was every time I saw your content, I felt like you had messaged it to me directly, like you already knew me. And I know we've joked about this before because a number of people in your course have actually said this to you, but it's yeah, I felt very called out in good ways and bad, but all around both good. And it just felt very relatable, your content. And the exact person you're trying to help was me. Because I do, content for other people and I can focus and get things done when they're for my clients, but when I sit down and try to really work out what I want to say about my own business, it's difficult.
Mm,
It's so much easier for me to do that for someone else and point them in the right direction and help them get all the things and they have success with it. But when I sit down to do my own stuff, I'm overwhelmed because
yeah.
I know all parts of it. And so I'm in my head too much.
Yeah. You're in
And
the
so it
trees.
really, right? And seeing your content really made me want to, I don't know, learn more from you in terms of how I can just do that thing that you're telling me to do.
Yeah. And you're
So
amazing at it.
I hope
So
so.
it's easy. It's easy to help you.
Yeah.
In what ways have you seen the most growth since we've been working together, both personally and professionally?
I think getting out of my own head has that's definitely gotten better. Because I think when I don't remember which program I first worked with you, um, but that was last year. And I just felt relieved in how, one, I wasn't the only one going through this. So it was really great to be, in a group call to see that other people were going through the same things. And sometimes I would show up and you've answered the question that I didn't even realize I had with other people before it even got to me. And it just community support. And it's just, I find now I can sit down and I can actually focus and I can get something out about what I'm trying to say about my business. I can talk about how I actually help people without everything I talk about being salesy.
Oh.
Because in the beginning, that's all I really, it's like I do this, this is what it's involved in working with me. And now I actually feel like I can turn it into a conversation piece and I can calm down and just say the thing without having to worry about what happens afterwards. I feel
Mm,
like that's always been the problem in talking about my own business.
yeah.
In my head too much.
I
Mhm.
said the thing and now I'm worried.
Exactly. And now, we've talked about content and how things have changed online so much in your programs. And I feel like that's totally the case. I get worried about a post, but really like how many people are seeing it right now anyways.
Yeah, the algorithm's doing
Things
its
have,
own thing right now.
oh, it's just changed so much. So I'm like, I just have to put out a lot of things and just engage with people really. So it's really helped me in a lot of ways, just kind of getting things out, figuring out what it is I want to say. But I've done a lot more better networking with people too, because I think I'm actually showing up more as myself without worrying about it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I love that. That's what it's all about. Just being yourself and letting people be attracted to that. Like that's the
yeah.
beauty of it. What would you say has been the most surprising thing about the way that I work and help you guys, you girls?
I don't know if you sleep or not. You have so many ideas that I'm always like, how did she put that together so fast already? I don't know how you do it. Um, but I think I'm always surprised that like I think something you're doing is amazing, but then you always top it. And I don't know.
I appreciate that.
You
I will
still
take
manage
that
to surprise
compliment.
me. I don't know how you do it.
I will take that compliment. Oh, my soul. Okay, so if anyone here is like listening and they're kind of thinking like, "Oh, I want to do go viral or I want to join 10K," like what advice would you give them?
I would say whichever one, whatever program is really catching your eye, just don't wait any longer. Because I definitely waited, you know, getting getting into coaching programs, I've had done a few in the past that weren't really what I was looking for. But I feel like when you keep seeing the same person, when you keep seeing the same, promotion or whatever program it is, and you keep going through the comments and you keep reading everything, and there's a reason for it.
Mm,
So waiting is not going to benefit you by any means. Just dive in because I think I'm in like your third program by now since I first signed up. Like I got so much more out of the first one than I was even expecting. And you're very transparent. So I knew what I was essentially going to get from that course. But it's always so much more. So I wouldn't wait.
thank you.
You're gonna end up in there eventually, but you may as well do it
Oh, my soul. Yes, everyone, you're just going to end up there eventually. Just do it now. Danny, how can we find you and connect with you and learn more about what you're doing right now in your business?
Well, I'm pretty much everywhere. But you can check out my website. My business is Virtual Shore. And yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram and Facebook as well. So usually at Dani.virtualshore.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'll put the links. You can come back once it's uploaded if you want to go into Facebook. You want to put all your links in the comments. That would be amazing
Sure.
for the people. And they will be in the show notes as well when we get this in podcast form. Danny, anything else you want to share or say or advice you want to give anybody?
If you've never had a coach before, I think you will probably not be able to top Brittany for sure.
Amazing.
Just do
Thank
it.
you. All right, my friends, have an amazing rest of your day. Danny, thanks for being here with me. I will see you
You're
all
welcome.
later.